Hello everyone, this is Meenakshi Dilip Birari, working as a assistant professor in chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. We know that fertilizers contain nutrients that are essential for the plant growth. Fertilizers supply plant food and also help to increase the yield of different crops through improvement of soil fertility. So, the farmers use various kinds of fertilizers to produce abundant crops. In today's lecture, we are going to study the various kinds of fertilizers and their examples. The primary macronutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, are the elements in which soil is most frequently deficient. And to correct the deficiency of these elements, fertilizers must be added to supply them with the nutrients. So, these primary nutrients, nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, can be added in the soil in the form of different fertilizers. So, the different fertilizers, these are nitrogenous fertilizers, phosphatic fertilizers, potassic fertilizers, complex fertilizers, and also mixed fertilizers, which are helpful to increase the yield of crops through the improvement of soil fertility. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the nitrogenous fertilizers, phosphatic fertilizers, and potassic fertilizers, action of these fertilizers on the crops and also on the soil. Different fertilizers are classified into three groups. These are straight fertilizers, complex fertilizers, and mixed fertilizers. Complex fertilizers are the fertilizers which contain all three primary nutrients. These are nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, NPK. If only two nutrients are present in any fertilizer, then it is called incomplete complex fertilizer. For example, nitrophosphate, monoammonium phosphate, diammonium phosphate, like that. Complex fertilizers have high content of nutrients, uniform grain size, good physical condition, non-caking and non-hygroscopic. These complex fertilizers are cheap as compared to superphosphates or ammonium sulfate, which are preferred by cultivators. The most important grades of nitrophosphates and other commercial complex fertilizer grades, these are 15, 15, 15. That means nitrogen contain 15, phosphorus 15, and potassium again 15. So NPK ratio, it is equal in that fertilizer, 15 as to 15 as to 15. The mixed fertilizers, these are the mixtures of two or more straight fertilizers. So if we mix two straight fertilizers, there is the formation of mixed fertilizer. Mixed fertilizer, it is highly useful for good crop yield and also for good plant growth. Mixed fertilizer also save the cost of application of fertilizers, especially in labor scarcity areas. They also supply balanced amount of nutrients to the plants and also to the soil. Now let us see first of all nitrogenous fertilizers. These are most widely used fertilizers which are produced from ammonia gas. Ammonia, it is used in making liquid fertilizers as anhydrous ammonia and aqueous ammonia, ammonium sulfate, which is in solid form, ammonium nitrate, again in solid form, ammonium phosphate, and urea. So for the making of liquid fertilizers, ammonia it is used, and also for ammonium sulfate, ammonium nitrate, ammonium phosphate, and urea, ammonia it is used. Each of these fertilizers provide soil with large amount of nitrogen. Soil takes up this nitrogen in the form of NH4 plus or nitrate ions and forms amino acids with carbon compounds. These amino acids are converted into proteins and enzymes. Proteins thus make part of protoplasm, while enzymes act as a catalyst for various reactions taking place in the plant. So we should remember soil takes up the nitrogen in the form of NH4 plus or also in the form of nitrate ions, and after that it forms the amino acids with the carbon compounds. These amino acids are further converted into proteins and also into enzymes. The proteins make the part of protoplasm, while the enzymes act as a catalyst for various reactions which occurs in the plant. Nitrogen N2 is also a special constituent of chlorophyll. The chlorophyll pigment which is also present in the leaves. So without chlorophyll, photosynthesis is not possible. Nitrogen, it makes up 16 to 18% of the plant protein and constituents 1 to 4% of the weight of plant, and is also required in the large amounts in any of the plant nutrients. Already in previous lectures we have studied essential nutrients for the healthy growth of plants. So nitrogen, it is one of the nutrient which is required in a large amount in any of the plant nutrients, that is macronutrient, primary nutrient. Nitrogen, it is essential for the healthy growth of plants. So what are the sources of nitrogen? The main sources of N2 are fertilizers, organic nitrogen compounds which are formed in the soil by recurring natural processes, and also atmosphere. So the main sources of nitrogen, these are fertilizers, organic nitrogen compounds which may be formed in the soil by the natural process or by the atmospheric process. So let us see the classification of nitrogenous fertilizers. Nitrogenous fertilizers have been classified into 4 categories depending on the form of nitrogen present in them. So in the form of nitrate, in the form of ammonical, or both nitrate or ammonical nitrogen, or amide nitrogen. These are 4 classes, 4 categories of nitrogen fertilizers. Soil takes up the nitrogen in the form of NH4 plus or nitrate ions. Nitrogenous fertilizers, in that nitrogen is present in various forms. These are nitrate fertilizers like sodium nitrate or calcium nitrate. The percentage of nitrogen in sodium nitrate, that is about 16%, in calcium nitrate 15.50%. Both fertilizers, these are basic in nature. Then ammonical nitrogen, that means nitrogen is present in the form of NH4 plus ion. So the examples of this type of the fertilizers: ammonium sulfate having 20% of nitrogen, ammonium chloride 24 to 26%, and anhydrous ammonia contains maximum nitrogen content about 82%. And these 3 fertilizers, these are acid forming fertilizers. Some fertilizers contain both nitrate and ammonical nitrogen. So examples for such a type of the fertilizers, these are ammonium nitrate which contains 33 to 34% nitrogen, calcium ammonium nitrate 20% of nitrogen, and this ammonium nitrate, it is acid forming type of the fertilizer and calcium ammonium nitrate can, it is neutral fertilizer. Then the fourth category, that is amide nitrogen. Nitrogen, it is available in the form of amide. So examples for such a fertilizer, these are urea, which contains 46% of nitrogen, and calcium cyanamide contains 21% of nitrogen. So urea, it is again acid forming type of the fertilizer, and calcium cyanamide, it is basic type of fertilizer. So we should remember the various examples of fertilizers, of nitrogenous fertilizers, and also the percentage of nitrogen in each fertilizer. So nitrogenous fertilizers are classified depending on the form of nitrogen present in them. That may be nitrate, ammonical nitrogen, or it may contain both nitrate and ammonical nitrogen, and the fourth category containing amide nitrogen. So this is the classification of nitrogenous fertilizers. Now let us see the action of ammonium sulfate in the soil. If we add ammonium sulfate in the soil, in which form nitrogen is taken up by the soil, and also what is the action of ammonium sulfate in the soil? Let us see. Ammonium sulfate, it is acidic in nature, and nitrogen is present in cationic form, that is in the form of ammonium ion, NH4 plus ion, which is retained by soil colloids. It is held by soil by forming complex. So calcium, that Ca2 plus ions which are retained by soil colloid, if we add ammonium sulfate NH4 twice SO4 in that soil containing calcium, there is the formation of NH4 plus and CaSO4, that is calcium sulfate, which is soluble in nature, and NH4 plus that will be absorbed by the calcium colloids. So there is the exchange phenomenon, cation exchange phenomenon. Ca on the soil colloid get replaced by NH4 plus ions. So this one is the cation exchange phenomenon. Already in previous lectures we have studied the theories of nutrient uptake. Ca will be replaced by NH4 plus. So we get NH4 plus soil colloid and the complex, that is soluble form of this calcium sulfate. CaSO4, this will be lost in drainage water by leaching, and the soil loses Ca2 plus ion. The NH4 plus ion on the soil colloid may be taken up directly by the plants, or it is nitrified as NH4 plus N. In the presence of enzymes, the oxidation occurs, and this NH4 plus N is converted into NO3 minus N and H plus ions, which are formed during the nitrification, due to which soil becomes acidic and the soil pH lowers, soil pH decreases. Therefore, it is suitable for calcareous, saline, neutral, and also for alkaline soils. In calcareous soils, lots of NH3 is lost through the volatilization. Ammonium sulfate plus calcium carbonate plus twice H2O give the formation of CaSO4 twice H2O plus NH4 twice CO3. Then this NH4 twice CO3, it gives the formation of twice NH3 plus CO2 plus H2O. So if we add the ammonium sulfate into the calcareous soil, there is lots of NH3 is lost through the volatilization. So these are the reactions. By using that we get how this ammonium sulfate is converted to that of ammonia, and there is a loss of NH3 which is lost through the volatilization. So the ammonium sulfate may be applied before sowing along with the seed or can be top dressed to the standing crop. It should be applied very close to seed to avoid bad effects on the seed germination. So the two things are important. Ammonium sulfate may be applied before sowing along with the seed or also can be top dressed to the standing crop. It should be applied very close to seed to avoid the bad effects on the seed germination. So these are the different things related to the action of ammonium sulfate in the soil. If we apply the ammonium sulfate in the soil, as it is acidic in nature, the nitrogen is also present in the cationic form, so that Ca chloride get converted into NH4 plus chloride, and CaSO4 it may be lost in the drainage water by leaching, and the soil loses Ca2 plus ion, so that the soil becomes acidic in nature. Therefore, the ammonium sulfate it is suitable for calcareous soil, saline soil, neutral and also for alkaline soils. In calcareous soils, lots of NH3 is lost through the volatilization. Now the next to that, urea, which is also one of the nitrogenous fertilizer. So what is the action of urea in the soil? Let us see. Urea is first hydrolyzed by soil water to NH3 and CO2. Then nitrosification of NH3 take place by the Nitrosomonas and Nitrosococcus bacteria and nitrites are formed. So if we add the urea into the soil, first the hydrolysis it occurs by the soil water into NH3 and CO2. Then nitrosification of NH3 it takes place by the bacteria Nitrosomonas and Nitrosococcus into nitrites. Firstly it is converted into nitrates and also in the nitrate. So these are the reactions. In the presence of bacteria nitrosification it occurs. About 75% of NH3 is used as a fertilizers directly. Urea it should be applied 3 to 4 days before sowing because the conversion takes about a week for completion. So again we should remember urea it should be applied 3 to 4 days before sowing because the conversion it takes about a week for completion. Another fertilizer, nitroleum fertilizers. So what is the action of nitroleum in the soil? Nitroleum it is a mixture of calcium cyanide and carbon. When it is applied to the soil, it gets hydrolyzed to calcium hydroxide, that is CaOH twice, and urea in presence of soil catalyst and or microorganisms. So nitroleum it is a mixture of calcium cyanide and carbon. It converted into calcium hydroxide and urea in presence of soil catalyst or in presence of microorganisms. So these are reactions which occurs if we add nitroleum into the soil in presence of soil catalyst or microorganisms. The nitrogen is converted into NO3 minus in the form of NO3 minus that is available. The principal nitrogen solution it is a mixture of ammonium nitrate, urea and water in the ratio of 80:20. So ammonium nitrate plus urea that is about in that form of the ratio 80:20. The high concentration of this nitrogen solution can be further increased by the addition of formamide. Then phosphatic fertilizers. These are also called phosphates. These are made from the mineral apatite or rock phosphate, which can be applied directly in the finely powdered form. Apatite, when treated with H2SO4 or H3PO4, it makes liquid superphosphate. These fertilizers are required in lesser amounts than nitrogen. So we know that nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, these are primary and macronutrients, but as compared to nitrogen, the phosphatic fertilizers are required in lesser amount. Most soils contain phosphates in the form of complex calcium phosphate Ca3PO4 twice, iron and aluminum complex, and also in the form of organic compounds. Such sources are insoluble, so plants can make very little use of them. It is supplied in two major forms to plants as calcium phosphate or ammonium phosphate, Ca3PO4 twice or NH4 thrice PO4. So phosphatic fertilizers are supplied in two major forms to the plants. One is calcium phosphate and another one is ammonium phosphate. Classification of phosphatic fertilizers. Phosphatic fertilizers having three groups. These are divided into three groups. First, water soluble or mono calcium phosphate, ortho calcium phosphate. Second, citric acid soluble dicalcium phosphate, and third one, insoluble phosphate fertilizers. So phosphatic fertilizers are divided into three classes: water soluble, ortho or mono calcium phosphate, citric acid soluble dicalcium phosphate, and insoluble phosphate fertilizers. Dicalcium phosphate is the principal constituent in two major fertilizers, which are nitric phosphate, which is obtained as a product of neutralization of phosphate ore and nitric acid with ammonia. The resulting product is dried and granulated. The other is ammonical superphosphate, which is formed when monocalcium phosphate in superphosphate is treated with ammonia. Some basic phosphate is also formed along with it. For phosphate of low solubility, best result is obtained with finely divided material on acid soil. Polyphosphates are also used as a fertilizers. Orthophosphatic fertilizers. The active constituent are monocalcium phosphate MCP and phosphoric acid. Superphosphate is formed by dissolving rock salt into H2SO4. Thus, we get such a type of the reaction, that is Ca10PO4 6F2 plus 7H2SO4 plus thrice H2 give the formation of single superphosphate, which is called as SSP plus twice HM. If H3PO4 is produced used to dissolve fresh rock phosphate, higher grades of superphosphates are obtained. If rock phosphate is reacted with excess of H2SO4 or H3PO4, which is produced, which is then used to dissolve fresh rock phosphate, and higher grades of superphosphates are obtained. So higher grades of superphosphate, that is triple superphosphate TSP. Partial neutralization of acid with ammonia gives multi-nutrient fertilizers as monoammonium phosphate and diammonium phosphate MAP and DAP. By decreasing the ratio of water to P2O5, H3PO4 is upgraded to superphosphoric acid, which is also the mixture of H4P2O7 and higher molecular weight polymers. Ammoninization of triple polyphosphoric acid produces very soluble fertilizer, that is ammonium polyphosphates, which contain 12% of nitrogen and 23% of phosphorus. So ammonium polyphosphate, it is a liquid fertilizer. Then SSP, single superphosphate, it contains 16 to 18% of P2O5. DSP, it contains 32%. TSP, that is triple superphosphate, it contains 46 to 48% of P2O5. They contain water soluble phosphorus, which is easily available to plants in the form of H2PO4 minus ions. This fertilizer should be used on neutral to alkaline soil only. So we should remember, phosphatic fertilizers, it should be applied to the neutral or to the alkaline soils only. Then the second type, that is citric acid soluble dicalcium phosphate. Basic slag, it contains about 14 to 18% of P2O5, and CaHPO4, it contains 34 to 49% of P2O5. Because of low pH, these fertilizers are suitable for acidic soils. Being citric acid soluble, they get converted to MCP, that is monocalcium phosphates, and the phosphate does not get fixed by Fe and Al as phosphates. We know that there is the fixation of phosphate if iron and aluminum, it may be present in the soil. These type of the fertilizers, these are citric acid soluble, so they get converted to monocalcium phosphate, and also the phosphate does not get fixed by Fe and Al as phosphates. Third one, that is phosphatic fertilizers which are insoluble. Rock phosphate, it contains 20 to 40% of P2O5. Raw bone meal contains 20 to 25% of P2O5, and steamed bone meal contains about 22% of P2O5. These are some of the fertilizers of this group which are insoluble phosphatic fertilizers. They are suitable for highly acidic soil or organic soil which require large quantities of phosphoric fertilizers. So this one is the classification of phosphatic fertilizers, which are divided into three groups: water soluble ortho or monocalcium phosphate, second citric acid soluble phosphatic fertilizers, and third one insoluble phosphate fertilizers. Now the next one, that is potassic fertilizers. Potassium is one of the essential nutrient of the plants. Primary nutrient, that is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Potassium is also one of the essential nutrient of the plant. It is obtained from natural deposits, for example KCl, which occurs in large deposits. It is soluble and readily available to plants. Potassium sulfate K2SO4, which occurs as double salt K2SO4 plus MgSO4, is either used as such or treated to remove associated salt. The fertilizers containing nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium are known as NPK fertilizers. So the potassium fertilizer is called as fertilizer, that is potash. Being highly reactive metal, it is never found in free state. It readily oxidizes to K2O, and on exposure to air which combines with water to form KOH, potassium hydroxide. That is why it is never used in elemental form as a fertilizer. The common potassic fertilizers are muriate of potash, then sulfate of potash SOP, K2SO4 potassium sulfate, and potassium nitrate KNO3. With water, these fertilizers liberate K plus ion, which are easily absorbed by growing plants. Potassium chloride and K2SO4, these are soluble in water and they also releases K plus ions which are absorbed on the soil colloids and are available to the plants through cation exchange reactions. So already we have studied the theory for the nutrient absorption, what is cation exchange and anion exchange phenomenon. So there is the replacement of cations, that is called cation exchange reaction. So the K plus ions which are absorbed on the soil colloids and are available to the plants through the cation exchange reactions. When these fertilizers are applied to acidic soil, ions replaces OH minus ions. It is toxic to plants in alkaline soils. In alkaline soils, KCl is always applied along with organic matter so that twice KCl plus SO3 plus H2 give the formation of K2SO4 plus twice HCl. When these fertilizers are applied to acidic soils, Cl minus ions replaces OH minus ions associated with free ion oxide. Therefore, it gives greater response than K2SO4. So, it is a toxic to the plants and in alkaline soils. Potassium sulfate is less hygroscopic than KCl, hence it is easy to handle. It is preferred source of K for crops which are sensitive to high concentration of Cl2 such as tobacco, potatoes, etc. and many vegetables grown in glass houses. Potassium nitrate is also favored for tobacco because it contains no chloride and all nitrogen is present as a NO3 minus ion, which is preferred from form of nitrogen for this crop. Complex fertilizers. So these are the fertilizers which contain all three primary nutrients. These are nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. If only two nutrients are present in any fertilizers, then it is called incomplete complex fertilizer. For example, nitrophosphates, monoammonium phosphate MAP, diammonium phosphate DAP. NPK fertilizers are ammonium sulfate, phosphate and K2O combination. So the complex fertilizers have high contents of nutrients, uniform grain size, good physical conditions, also non-caking and non-hygroscopic. They are also cheap as compared to superphosphates or ammonium sulfates and they are preferred by cultivators. The most important grades of nitrophosphates and other commercial complex fertilizer grades are 15, 15, 15, that means nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. NPK ratio, it is equal. Again the same second example, 20 as to 20 as to 20, that means nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, these are equal. So complex fertilizers are the fertilizers which contain all three primary nutrients. Then mixed fertilizers. Mixed fertilizers are the mixtures of two or more straight fertilizers. It is highly useful for good crop yield and also to increase plant growth. So what are the advantages of mixed fertilizers? Mixed fertilizers, if we apply, they save cost of application of fertilizers especially in labor scarcity areas. They possess better physical conditions than single fertilizers and hence it can be drilled easily. The requirement of these fertilizers is very less. They rectify the residual acidity of certain nitrogenous fertilizers in soil and they supply balanced amount of nutrients to the plants and also to the soil. So these are the advantages of mixed fertilizers. The mixture of two or more straight fertilizers which are highly useful for good crop yield and also to increase plant growth. Mixed fertilizers are also having some disadvantages. They do not permit the application of individual nutrient. If we have to apply only the nitrogen, it is not possible if we consider the application of mixed fertilizer because mixed fertilizer contains two or more straight fertilizers. They do not permit the application of individual nutrients. The unit cost of plant nutrient in mixture is usually higher than straight fertilizer. Farmers do not mix the fertilizers in proper proportion and also differential application of fertilizer mixture is not possible. In mixing, chemical compatibility results reduction in availability of some nutrients. In some cases, chemical reaction between fertilizers may causes and there may be the loss of nutrients. So, there are the different disadvantages of mixed fertilizers. They do not permit the application of individual nutrients which may suit the need of a crop of specific times. The unit cost of plant nutrients in mixture it is also usually higher than those in straight fertilizers. Farmers also do not mix the fertilizers in proper proportion or chemical reaction between fertilizers may cause the loss of nutrients. So to overcome all these disadvantages, Agriculture Department has prepared a list of approved fertilizer mixtures with definite composition. So by using the approved fertilizer mixtures with definite composition, we can increase the yield of crops with the supply of proper nutrients in proper time. So in today's lecture we have studied the various kinds of fertilizers and also the action of these fertilizers on the soil and also on the crops. Thank you.